I was on the phone to my friend, and he was basically saying there was a whole situation going on, and it was getting to kind of breaking point. And I was like, look, mate, I really love you. Like, we're best friends, but I don't want to keep doing drugs and just living like this. And he basically turned around and said, we're not ready to change. We're not ready to move on. And that was it. And that was the moment I stopped seeking validation from crowds and living my life because I wanted to please other people and I wanted friends. Because your need for friends will be your downfall. And if you're living for validation, it's going to cost you a lot in the long run. Because if people don't like you for you and you're not being yourself fully, then you're selling your soul very slowly, piece and piece at a time. And it's very dangerous because it starts off innocent. You do little things that are out of your character to fit in with the crowd. But it slowly becomes, you start doing drugs, you start getting into fights, you start doing things that are out of your character, and you start doing crime, and you start doing things that are really, now it's getting serious. But it started off because you wanted to fit in with people. So you have to be authentic. You have to be yourself. Because as kids, we start off very pure, but then as we go through the world, we then have to put on layers and layers of costumes to, appease people and fit in. And when you're a kid, you're going to do that because you're a kid. But it goes back to how biologically hardwired the need for fitting in is, because it goes back to tribal times. And if you were kicked out of a tribe, then it's pretty much a death sentence if you're on your own. So it's very biological, and it's deeply hardwired to want a group to roll with. And of course we want friends, but it's when you grow up from being a kid and you've still got these programs running that I need to fit in. And that's the split, I think, in this world. A lot of people keep running the programs that save them throughout their adulthood, and then others think, nah, I want to return back to myself. And there is this split. You see it in society. People go and do things they don't want to do to look good from the outside, and just slowly just lose themselves over time. And then you get people who, kind of black sheep, who split from the herd, and they stick out like a sore thumb, because it's not easy to follow your own truth in a world that produces herd mentality. Like, just look around. You see it everywhere. Performance. And when you can see the performance, it's super cringy. And the performers then look at the ones who have put down the props and call them, rude, arrogant, cold. Oh, he thinks he's better than people, this and that. It's like, no, I'm different. And I can see what's going on here. And it's like, you can't pretend anymore once the mask comes off and you're living from truth instead of a persona. And that persona, it can be quite unnerving and uncomfortable to remove, but it's so freeing when you realize I was just trying to fit in. And you forgive yourself for it, because it's like you go through school and you go through all of these processes that basically tell you that you've got to all wear the same uniform, you've all got to be packaged the same. And then once you get out of that and your brain develops and your frontal lobe develops and you can actually think for yourself now, you have a decision to make. Am I going to continue down that road, or am I going to follow my own truth?